Hello everyone! Good day! Before I begin with my presentation, I would like to introduce to you myself. I am Hanna Laika Balbuena, an accountancy student of International School of Asia and the Pacific. My presentation is all about coping with the challenges of intercultural communication. So may I ask you a question? Have you ever encountered communicating with someone who has different culture? Then if yes, this presentation may help you, especially when you are communicating the people of France. Let's have a game. This game is called How Much Do You Know About France? So this game will help you to know about France, some facts and trivias about their country. First up, we have what is the capital city of France? These are the choices. A. Madrid, B. Paris, C. London, D. Brussels. I will give you 5 seconds to answer. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Time's up. The correct answer is Paris. Paris is the capital city of France. It is nicknamed as the City of Lights and the largest city in France. It is also the center of their economy, traffic, culture, and politics. Question number 2. What color are there in the French flag? A. Red, yellow, blue. B. Red, blue, white. C. Red, green, blue. D. White, blue, green. I will give you 5 seconds to answer. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Time's up. The correct answer is B. It's red, blue, and white. The colors symbolize nobility for blue, clergy for white, and bourgeois for red, which were the states of the old regime in France. Question number 3. Which of these is a tourist attraction in France? A. Disneyland, B. Eiffel Tower, C. London Bridge, D. Versailles Palace. I will give you 5 seconds to answer. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The correct answer is yes, it is the Eiffel Tower. Eiffel Tower is a wrought iron lattice tower on the Champ de Mars in Paris, France. It is named after the engineer Gustave Eiffel, whose company designed and built the Eiffel Tower. Eiffel Tower is the second largest, tallest freestanding structure in France. Question number 4. What is the national motto of France? A. Unity, Equality, Peace. B. Liberty, Unity, Peace. C. Liberty, Equality, Fraternity. D. Unity, Equality, Fraternity. I will give you 5 seconds to answer. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Time's up. The correct answer is letter C. Liberty, Equality, and Fraternity. The ideals expressed in the national motto of Liberté, Égalité, Fraternité, or Liberty, Equality, Fraternity, are often identified as essential to what it means to be a French. For many, the values of equality and fraternity indicate that the French are unified and undivided group. Question number 5. French cannot use coins in public telephones. A. True. B. False. I will give you 5 seconds to answer. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The correct answer is true. Paris phone booths don't accept coins of any sort, only telecards and credit cards. So that would be all for my games. I hope you have learned something from France. Let's proceed. Let's proceed to our main topic, which is the communication styles in France. This includes verbal and non-verbal communication. First up, we have the verbal communication. Communication style. Determined by their social status, level of education, their age, and which part of the country they were raised in. Tone and choice of words will vary among these factors. Generally, they will communicate in French, but some may use their regional dialect. For example, when two people are communicating with each other and the other one has higher social status and level of education, so the other person must pay respect towards the other person. Next is direct communication. The French tend to be very direct. One reason for this is that the French language is quite precise. Thus, it is difficult not to be direct when using it. This direct style of communicating has often been misunderstood as rude by tourists. So, for example, if you go to France and you feel like they were very direct people, then it is normal to them. Do not be so surprised. The direct communication style is seen by the French as diplomatic and polite, rather than ill-intentioned. Next up, we have debating. The French generally dislike public disagreements or disputes, but enjoy a controlled debate. French people are not a fan of wordy arguments. Logic will often dominate their arguments, and many French people tend to extensively analyze the matter under discussion. They may recognize something illogical said by the opposition, and informed rebuttal is generally appreciated. So, if you will be going to have a debate with French person, then do not be surprised if he or she has his facts or has his evidences. Because French people are not carried away by their emotion. They are logically and mentally prepared. Next up, we have compliments. Compliments are often appreciated, but will usually be received by a humble denial instead of a thank you. For example, if you compliment a French person and you feel that you were denied, then it is normal to them. You are appreciated but not a worth of a thank you. So, formality. The polite form of speech is to address people in a formal form of you known as vous. In French, there are different forms of expression that indicate the level of courtesy and formality. The informal address known as tu is used in a variety of contexts. Generally, it is considered disrespectful to use tu when first meeting someone, if someone is older, or if someone is higher social status. It is also a common in francophone countries. So, always remember when you go to France and you meet people for the first time, don't address them as tu. Just use the word vous because it is a sign of formality. Next up, humor. The French tend not to tell punchline jokes. They prefer witty, satirical, and ironic jokes. So always remember, if you go to France, you prepare a joke for intelligent people. Okay, let's proceed to their non-verbal communication. First up, we have physical contact. Touching during a conversation is accepted and considered a sign of affection only once you have reached a degree of familiarity. Young people will often engage in public displays of affection such as embracing or kissing. So if you go to France and meet with people, make sure you are close with them first before showing affection. Also, do not get surprised when you see people kissing and hugging each other in the streets because it is normal with them. Next up, personal space. An arm's length of distance or a bit closer is an appropriate amount of personal space. So, in France, distance is a must. Next, we have eye contact. Direct eye contact is understood as a form of respect. It is considered to be extremely rude not to make and maintain eye contact. So, for example, if you are meeting with your French business partner, make sure to maintain an eye contact. But not every time. Like, for example, if you have an agreement, make sure to do it to prove your sincerity and respect for him or her. And if not, then maybe you will be addressed as a rude person. Next, gestures. French people tend to use the thumbs up to sign to indicate okay. Making a circle with the thumb and index finger means 0. Just like here in the Philippines, we also do these gestures. We use thumbs up if it's okay, and this sign if it's 0. So, that would be all for the nonverbal communication. Let's proceed to their greetings. Greetings are important in France. So, for example, if you watch a movie, you will notice that French movies are very popular, the word bonjour or hello. So if you observe the movie, people are greeting each other bonjour. So it is very important in France. So if you go to France, make sure you memorize the word bonjour. Next up, handshakes. Handshakes are the norm in a business setting or with acquaintances. So if you have a business partner, French business partner, make sure to always do a handshake. Next up, among friends and relatives, the most common greeting is the lapis, or kiss on both cheeks. People generally kiss twice during a lapis. So it is the beso beso in our country. So they do that in France. They do kiss on both cheeks. So it is normal with them. One should remove their sunglasses and or hat when doing a labis. So make sure if you do a labis, make sure to remove your sunglasses or hat. So if not, then you will be judged as a disrespectful person. Basic etiquettes in France. Respect is shown in verbal greetings by referring to a person as Madame for Mrs., Monsieur for Mr., or Mademoiselle. Madame is only used to refer to a married woman, while Mademoiselle is reserved for unwed woman. So make sure if you are going to France and you meet people, make sure to address them correct. Use the word Madame, Monsieur, or Mademoiselle. In formal contexts or when speaking to elders, use last names and appropriate titles until you are invited by your French counterpart to move on to a first name basis. It is important to acknowledge someone by their academic title if relevant. So for example, if you meet a French person who is a teacher, engineer, or a politician, make sure to use last name and their appropriate titles. Next up, in a formal setting, addressing someone by their title always precedes any conversation or request. For example, Madam, would you like a drink? So always remember if you meet someone in a formal setting, make sure to say some request or to ask some request. It is normal with them. Next up, at the service counter, you are expected to greet the service provider with a brief bonjour or hello, even if you are in a rush. So make sure to greet them bonjour. So it is normal in France. Next up, it is rude to sit with one's legs spread apart unless in a relaxed context. Rather, sit straight with your legs crossed at the knees or knees together. So as we all know that cafes are very popular in France. So we can see that the people there are sitting straight with their legs crossed at the knee or knees together. So sitting with one's legs apart are not normal in France. Next, feet should not be placed on tables or chairs. So personally, I'm this kind of person who puts my feet on my chair. So if I go to France, I will not do it. I will conform with what is accepted in their country. Next is, it is highly important to follow social conventions and exhibit an appropriate level of formality in France. The French term faux pas or wrong step refers to an embarrassing or unsophisticated act or remark in a social situation. So let us remember that French people are very formal. So if you go to a public place and you go to a public event, make sure to do not be embarrassed or to do an embarrassing moment. So that would be all. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you learned a thing or two from me in this communication style in France. So I would like to end my speech or my presentation with this beautiful quote from Robert Allen. Cultural differences should not separate us from each other, but rather cultural diversity brings a collective strength that can benefit of all of humanity. So let us remember that there is no superior culture than the other. We are all different, we are all diverse, but we should respect and be kind to each other. So I hope that you are all staying safe and staying healthy. Thank you so much for listening. Bye.